Right now, a fleet of NASA spacecraft are turning their attention to an unusual object speeding through our solar system.
The first images from Comet 3 I-Atlas Mars flyby arrived in a torrent of data, raw, grainy, and strangely mesmerizing. For decades, astronomers had waited for a second interstellar visitor after Oumuamua, and then Borisov, both of which had left more questions than answers. But when 3 I-Atlas swept past Mars, humanity had its best chance yet to observe an alien object from another star system up close. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and a small fleet of robotic observers orbiting and stationed on the Martian surface turned their lenses toward the faint glimmer streaking across the red sky. What they captured would soon challenge everything we thought we knew about interstellar bodies, planetary defense, and the fragility of our cosmic neighborhood. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. The comet's approach had already drawn attention for its erratic path. As it neared the inner solar system, 3 I-Atlas did not behave like any other comet. Its brightness fluctuated in unpredictable pulses rather than following the steady brightening caused by sunlight heating its volatile ices. Astronomers initially believed the comet might be breaking apart, a frozen relic succumbing to the sun's radiation. But the new images from Mars shattered that theory. Instead of a single fragmenting body, the pictures revealed a complex structure, a long reflective object wrapped in a haze of charged dust, surrounded by geometric formations that seemed too symmetrical to be natural. The excitement of discovery quickly shifted into unease. Something about the pattern was deliberate, as if designed. The Martian orbiters sent back high-resolution frames that, when processed, revealed the comet's core was neither spherical nor irregularly jagged like other comet nuclei. It was elongated, almost cylindrical, spanning several hundred meters, and exhibiting strange reflective surfaces that glinted even in spectral bands that should have been absorbed by dust and ice. The reflection curves didn't match any known composition. It wasn't silicate, carbonaceous, or metallic in the usual sense. The spectral data hinted at alloys, materials that shouldn't exist naturally in deep space. Some segments reflected radar signals with near-perfect coherence, something that only happens with engineered surfaces. And in one frame, faint light patterns seemed to ripple across its surface like a sequence, a kind of pulse. The scientific community found itself at a crossroads. Was 3 I-Atlas a natural interstellar relic sculpted by forces beyond human comprehension? Or had humanity just photographed the first evidence of a constructed object from another civilization? The Mars data could not easily be dismissed. Even the dust patterns surrounding the object appeared organized. Rather than dispersing randomly, they formed arcs and concentric structures, as if influenced by electromagnetic fields. Mars's thin atmosphere amplified the visual clarity of these patterns as the comet passed, allowing orbiters like MAVEN and Perseverance's cameras to capture unprecedented detail. The consistency of these formations hinted at a governing force at play, perhaps artificial, perhaps an unknown natural phenomenon. But either interpretation carried enormous implications. The implications of artificiality were staggering. If the object was built, it would mean that another civilization, somewhere among the stars, had engineered a vessel or probe that had traversed interstellar distances and wandered into our solar system. The energy, precision, and purpose behind such a journey would dwarf human technological capability. Yet, even assuming it was natural, the physics of its structure and motion seemed to defy the norms of celestial mechanics. 3. I-Atlas changed its spin orientation as it passed Mars, not due to tidal forces, but seemingly in response to radiation pressure from the planet's reflected light. No known comet or asteroid exhibited that kind of photonic sensitivity. It was as though the object could subtly maneuver, adjusting its course through micro-reactions to environmental input. Mars's orbiters tracked these anomalies closely. MAVEN's instruments detected fluctuations in the magnetic field around the comet, consistent with transient bursts of ionized gas, but with periodicity. The bursts were rhythmic, forming a cycle of pulses repeating every 23 minutes, then shifting to a new interval. The data suggested a deliberate modulation. On Earth, radio observatories aligned with Mars detected narrowband emissions from the same region of space. These emissions were not random noise. They occupied discrete frequencies that stood out against the cosmic background. For a moment, scientists dared to wonder if they were witnessing a signal, some kind of coded transmission embedded in the wake of 3I Atlas. The fear began as a whisper among scientists, then spread into the public consciousness once fragments of the imagery leaked. The symmetrical patterns, the pulsing emissions, and the unexplained reflectivity combined into a narrative that no one could easily contain. Humanity had long imagined that first contact would come through a clear, deliberate message, or perhaps a distant transmission caught by a radio telescope. But this was different. This was an object physically entering our solar system, crossing paths with one of our neighboring planets, and displaying features that screamed of intelligence, or at least of a technology beyond anything we understood. The most haunting aspect of the Mars images was the shadow cast on the planet's upper atmosphere as the comet passed. Observers on the surface, particularly the Perseverance and Curiosity rovers, registered faint fluctuations in the local atmospheric charge as if the passing object disturbed Mars's ionosphere. When the images were enhanced, the shadow itself appeared not as a blur, but as a clean, linear projection resembling the shape of the comet's core. It was unnaturally uniform. The precision of the shadow edge implied that whatever was inside that core interacted with electromagnetic fields in a controlled way, not chaotically as natural comets do. Even for those skeptical of the alien hypothesis, the data presented a mystery that strained conventional astrophysics. Scientists compared 3I Atlas spectral signatures with those from previous interstellar objects. Borisov had been unmistakably cometary, a dirty snowball emitting cyanide gas and dust. Oumuamua had been strange, with its tumbling motion and non-gravitational acceleration, but it had faded too quickly to study closely. 3I Atlas, on the other hand, stayed luminous far longer than expected, and its acceleration patterns didn't match sublimation thrust. The object accelerated in brief, calculated bursts as if it were firing invisible jets. Each burst corresponded precisely with the rhythmic emissions detected earlier. That synchronization could not be coincidence. Something was controlling or regulating its movement, even if through a process still incomprehensible to human understanding. On Mars, scientists struggled to keep up with the torrent of data. The orbiter's sensors overheated from constant operation, while data transmission to Earth lagged by hours due to bandwidth constraints. Yet the images that arrived formed a coherent story of escalating astonishment. The comet's surface appeared scarred in places, not from impacts, but from deliberate etching, long grooves that formed repeating angles and curves. These markings, seen under infrared imaging, aligned in patterns suggestive of geometry, perhaps even a language or code. Some grooves emitted faint heat, despite the frigid vacuum, hinting at residual internal energy or activity. Instruments registered low-frequency vibrations in the surrounding plasma, as though the comet was humming, a soft resonance perceptible only through sensors, but consistent across multiple devices. The implications of that hum went beyond curiosity. It suggested that the object was not inert. Whether it was active by design or through natural resonance, something inside it was interacting with its environment. Mars's thin magnetic field amplified this effect, creating localized auroral streaks near the poles that coincided with the comet's passage. The Martian night sky glowed faintly green and violet during the flyby, a phenomenon not predicted by any model. For the first time, humanity witnessed a foreign celestial body actively shaping the electromagnetic environment of another planet. It was no longer a question of mere observation. It was interaction. On Earth, debates erupted within the astronomical community. Some argued that the symmetrical forms and geometric etchings could arise from crystalline growth or magnetic alignment in interstellar conditions never before replicated in laboratories. Others insisted that natural explanations were being forced to fit phenomena that defied them. The term technosignature began appearing in official research papers, an acknowledgement that what was being observed could be evidence of technology. If that term held, 3I Atlas might represent humanity's first confirmed detection of alien engineering. But the fear beneath that revelation was not of discovery, it was of intent. The comet's trajectory after passing Mars hinted at a new path curving inward toward the sun. The possibility that it could alter course again raised uncomfortable questions. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on 3I Atlas Mars flyby images reveal? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.